Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the Financial Investor channel. My name is Brent, and today we're going to be covering quite a bit of topics. First of all, we're going to be covering the new thing. It's called the Modern Day Dow Average, and this is a list of 40 stocks that essentially is what everybody needs in some way or another. Like I would say 90% of the United States uses or has used some of these services sometime in their life. So this guy makes a really great point. His name is Mark Fishner, and he's best known as a trader, and he created this modern day average. So we're going to be taking a look at this article. We're also going to be covering 4 stocks that are dangerous in the Dow that you should be aware of, and maybe try and possibly avoid. While they might look like they're on a great buying opportunity, this article kind of paints it's the millennials market, with cryptocurrencies, weed being legalized in Canada and across the states, and just tech stocks in general just jumping up. That's a fun little article we're going to cover. I posted all of these inside my Facebook group or my Facebook page, so if you guys want to check it out, always go to my Facebook page, and I post these articles throughout the day whenever I find something interesting pertaining just to either dividend or the stock market in general. FCC vote was knocked off today. FCC ruled for neutrality to be voted down. So it was what, a 2-3 vote. So 5 people voted on it. Because of one person difference, it was overruled. And we'll talk a little bit about some stocks that were affected by it. And then Costco released their earnings after hours, and they beat expectations. So we're going to be covering those articles very quickly within here 10 to 15 minutes. So go ahead and stay tuned for that. If you are brand new to my channel, I do make stock market investment style videos weekly, so do consider subscribing for future videos. Now, I don't usually release videos on Friday covering any information. I usually wait till Saturday to do my weekly recap. But today there's just a lot of information, or just a lot of stuff kind of going on, and a lot of these articles caught my attention. So we have Mark Fishner here launching the modern day index, which is kind of like the modern day Dow average. Now this consists of 40 stocks. I'm going to say that as we go across this list, you're going to notice that most of these names you're going to know. If you're an investor and you've been investing in the stock market, or have been passively or actively doing your 401k, or just living life, you've probably heard about 90% of these names. So down here it shows every single one of them, going from Boeing Company, military, weapons, and industrial. You have Amazon, Facebook, Apple, huge ones there. Visa, if you're going to use a credit card, just about anywhere it's going to be a Visa card. I don't believe a lot of people use MasterCard. You got healthcare, Home Depot, Triple M, CME Group, Microsoft, Google, FedEx. You got your transportation, you got your tech, you got your I don't know what you would do. Services, Home Depot. You have Cisco for the infrastructure. Just about every company out there who has networking and some sort of another, probably going through some sort of Cisco equipment and the infrastructure, or maybe some security. JP Morgan for your banking. General Motors for your future. It's not quite Tesla, but they're moving in that way where they're going to be going with the electric vehicles, and I believe they're going to be paving it in front of Ford and some of the other ones. Johnson & Johnson, Berkshire Hathaway, Intel, Waste Management, Charters Telecom, Comcast Telecom. I believe Comcast is one of the strongest of the majority of the telecom ones that I've seen. Between Verizon, AT&T, CenturyLink. I believe Comcast is one of the strongest ones. I haven't looked into Charter as much. We have Duke Energy, Monsanto, ADP. We got the paper company, Cisco for the food and delivery, and the list goes on and on here. So they have a huge, 40 stocks that I'm sure as I was naming some of these stocks off, from Exxon to CVS Health, General Electric, these are just stocks that essentially modern day people need in order to do or go about their lives in some way or another. So this article is really interesting to kind of read and look through some of these stocks. So I'm going to be taking a look at this list of 40, pulling out the stocks that do pay dividends, taking a look at are there any stocks there that are currently at a good opportunity to buy at this current time, or if they fit into any of my portfolio right now where I can just kind of average in a little bit into there. My portfolio right now is getting quite big. I'm going to be cutting back a little bit on it. I'm also doing some swing trades inside my Roth IRA. And I just thought this article was really fun to read and look at the modern day Dow. Now, number three or number two, we have four stocks that are considered kind of like the dangerous dogs of Wall Street. And being that this is kind of like the millennials market, there's a lot of technology stocks jumping up. There's a lot of Bitcoin, cryptocurrency talk. Just about every YouTuber out there that's an investor is talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, or Litcoin, as Jeremy would call it. So it's very, we also have marijuana getting legalized in Canada. So one of the other YouTubers, I believe his name was the Monkway, he talked about three stocks, or I believe it may be him or the dividend investor, one of the two. They talked about three stocks that are due to, they've had 100% gains and they're in the marijuana industry. So I thought his article or his video, I read this, thought about his video that he had talked about, and the current market right now, it really is kind of for the millennial or the Generation Z, I think it was called. But essentially, a lot of the market that's currently going on is kind of being popped up and propped by all this crypto talk, the new technology, and marijuana stocks. So here, we've been hitting record highs. So NASDAQ hit 69 new record highs this year. It's gained 23.3%, which is 49.5% better than the S&P 500 and 15.7% better than the Dow. So Bitcoin has jumped up 1,000%. Ethereum jumped up 5,000%. Legalization of marijuana going on. Made triple-digit gains on several penny pot stocks. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now. And then as we kind of go down into the tech dogs of the Dow, it kind of says, to kind of be wary of these stocks. Now, GE, it is in that modern day list here, the General Electric company. Once they start to turn around, if this ever dipped down into the $15, $16 range, I've considered adding it to my portfolio as a long-term buy and hold. Once they get their stuff together, I believe they're going to rebump their dividend payout by 50%, if not 50%. Or 25%, and then maybe 50%, just to kind of put it back where it was once their earnings and for free cash flow starts to come back and become normalized. And then we have IBM, the Hewlett Packard, HP, and Teva. So I'm not going to talk too much on these. I don't really know, IBM. They used to be known as like tech computer, computers and such, and same with Hewlett Packard. But nobody, I don't know of a lot of people that buy pre-made computers. I don't ever buy a pre-made computer. I build my own, and then my friends also put together their own computers, but I don't see HP as going that way. So those are two articles that were posted up on my Facebook. I will have those in the description below. So on to the net neutrality vote that took place today. It's going to affect a lot of telecom stocks, three of which I'm currently holding. I have CenturyLink, Verizon, and AT&T. So right now, all three of them went into the negative a little bit today, but I believe kind of going forward, as they're going to be doing some restructuring in 2018 with the net neutrality vote being casted out with a 3-2 vote, they're probably going to be ended up doing some changes. My buddy who works at CenturyLink has been talking about, this is how it was back in 2015. You didn't really, they adjusted some stuff. You could read about it in the past of how companies made certain adjustments either to slow down peer-to-peer, slow down access to certain websites, or ban websites all in general. So we don't really know what's going to go on in the future. I thought kind of holding on to some of these stocks would be kind of beneficial as an investor in the long term because of this huge, the turnout of this event. We don't really know what it's going to do in the future, but I believe somehow, this will help revenue with the telecom stocks that have been kind of looked at as more a utility stock and not having any growth in the last 5 years. So that's essentially it. I thought that this was a interesting article. They cleared out the entire room prior to the vote just because they were, afraid of an uproar. So it's a concept of conspiracy. So I just thought it was a very interesting article. You can probably look that one up on your own. I didn't think it's anything, you can kind of just stop the video and read it yourself, but it's not too much information. I just thought it was kind of interesting to see Comcast, CenturyLink, Charter, Frontier, AT&T, Verizon, Netflix, Dish Network, and Sprint here, T-Mobile, and we got Netflix on there twice. Huh, okay, but yeah, quite a few. I believe Netflix jumped up like 1% today, but a lot of the other ones did not move in the positive. Okay, we're going to be jumping over to Costco now. So Costco released their earnings. Costco wholesale beat expectations on their earnings per share by 11 cents. Now I pulled up Q4 for 2017. They had beat earnings per share by 6 cents. So this more than doubled their expectations so far for Q1 of 2018. They also had revenue of 31.8 billion, not as high as Q4 in 2017, but pretty high still. It's in the billions. So revenue in the past was 42.3, beating expectations by 750 million. Whereas in this case, they had revenue of 31.8 billion, beating revenue by 310 million. So still very nice. In the actual marketing, they went down today by 0.9%, but in the after hours they rose by 0.79. Now, some of their main things that they did really well was they smashed the sales, jumping over 10.5% year over year, and then they were trying to come out a little bit out of the gas business, but they impressed everyone with a 7.9 comparison. So they said comparable sales were up 8.7% in the U.S. gas and food court swings. Their membership rose by 10%. I actually reactivated my Costco membership here just a little bit ago, just the other day. And then shares of Costco were up 0.65 in the after hours, trading with a sizing comparable sales growth already tipped off by the retail as part of its monthly updates. Now, as you know, I bought into Costco when the whole scare came out where Amazon was buying Whole Foods and their stock tanked by 10%. I was like, you know what, Costco didn't deserve that huge of a hit. And I bought into Costco at that time, and I'm very glad that I did. I would consider it a decent position. I was trying to get my portfolio. I'm still trying to thin it down to be about 15 stocks with 5% in about each, of my portfolio in each stock. I am looking to thin it down right around the year mark. So right now, my Costco is up 17.13% from the initial time that I had invested in the stock. There are a couple other positions or stocks that I'm looking to add to my portfolio. As you know, right now, one of my main goals for 2017 is to get paid out initially, $200 or more per month in dividends that I'm able to reinvest into stocks that are currently, trading down. I am down in 4 positions right now, or 5 positions. So one of them, UGI, I'm currently swing trading it inside of my Roth IRA. So it may be down 1.7%, but I believe in the future, they have over 30 years of dividend payouts. Eventually, it's going to come back up. I'll be able to sell it off, and I have one in mind right now. Going forward, they're going to be purchasing in the next. I actually have my deposit going into my Roth IRA tomorrow. So I will have my Roth IRA fully funded for 2017 tomorrow, which I will then be purchasing a stock here. I'll be putting in about $3,300 into the specific stock. It should bump my 14710 paying months over the $200 limit. This stock that I'm going to be buying in went down about 10, 15, 17% in the last week or so, and it was due to the California fires. If you guys are able to research and find that out, what stock it is, go ahead and leave it in the comments below if you think you know what it is. That is what I'm going to be buying. I'm not going to tell anybody what I'm going to be buying just because I don't like to tell or sway other people's opinions on making a purchase just because I'm making a purchase. I've already done my research and I'm going to be buying it here soon. It dipped down today, so that's another great reason to buy it. I just get a better discount. So that is essentially it for this video. I had actually broke the $6,100 mark, but it did trade back down today at negative 0.51%. So hopefully Friday, everything will bump back up and I'll break the 61,000 mark for the end of the week. So that is it for this video. If you guys have liked it and enjoyed it, go ahead and hit the like button below. If you're brand new to my channel, go ahead and hit the icon on the bottom right hand corner to subscribe to my channel for stock market, dividend, investment style videos. If you are a subscriber, thank you guys for tuning in and watching my videos. I do appreciate every single one of you guys' views. If you have any questions about any of the information was covered, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. Remember to check out the article about the current Dow, the modern version Dow. I think that was a really interesting article. And then the current millennial market, as people would call it, with all the cryptocurrencies, marijuana stocks being traded and gaining 100% in a single, over a week. So I thought that was all really interesting. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow on Saturday for the stock market weekly recap. Bye-bye. Or Saturday.